Ooh, big day for Hero, big day for us because today we have Hero's first all-new motorcycle since they became Hero MotoCorp. It's called the Splendor iSmart 110. We're going to ride it and find out just what Hero's done, and it's a very important motorcycle because it wears the Splendor name. Name apart though, the iSmart 110 doesn't share anything with the old motorcycle. It's brand new, including a new frame, new styling and of course the new engine. Hero's intent here is fairly clear. They need to protect Splendor customers, traditionally an extremely conservative, change-resistant set of buyers, but they also need to offer a new option to underline their growing technological capability and to expand the product line. The iSmart 110 allows them to extend the Splendor brand without significant risk. Hero says the brief for the iSmart was simple. They went and listened to customers and created a motorcycle that answers their basic needs, which were more economy, a bit more performance and a bit more style. The key phrase was a motorcycle that allowed customers to get more done. And the story begins with the engine. So that's the new engine. It's a 110cc unit. It's all new, and you can see that the big change is that it's not a horizontal engine anymore. It's not a sloper. The engines come up a little bit, and obviously there is some concern about how customers will react to it. I think the clever thing about it is that I don't think the orientation of the engine really matters because we've ridden it. It feels really good. The engine powers a motorcycle that wears a new look. Hero says the new orientation of the cylinder brings multiple benefits, including a better center of gravity position than before, a shorter wheelbase and numerous packaging benefits. The iSmart 110 is built well and the finish levels are good. The new design isn't startlingly different from the segment, but it does look fresh and younger than both the Splendor or Passion. I'm not a fan of the red silver colorway though. It reminds me of the older 100cc Splendor iSmart a little too strongly, but I do like this blue black. The Splendor iSmart presents a fresh take on the 110cc commuter from Hero's perspective. The point to remember here is that this is a very difficult segment to innovate in because the customers just aren't very receptive to change and the price-profit headroom is ridiculously low. You know from our recent reviews that we've liked Hero's new products. The Maestro Edge became our scooter of the year. We're quite happy with the Duet as well. And I think the Splendor iSmart 110 is a further step in that direction because as new motorcycles go, this one's really good. It's clearly far superior to the current Splendor in every way. It's more refined, it's got more performance. I assume that the fuel economy will be in the same benchmark range. We'll have to road test the motorcycle. The ride quality is very comfortable. The handling is very nice. It's really hard to fault in these conditions. I say in these conditions because the test track we are on is a really small environment, so it's really hard for me to tell whether it's how much better than something else, but I can promise you it will definitely fit into the segment very neatly towards the top of the segment, I would imagine, and I cannot wait to compare it with its peers. One would imagine that Hero would perhaps make life simpler for themselves by starting their new R&D out on premium products. After all, making a new, larger displacement motorcycle allows greater maneuvering room and it doesn't affect the bread and butter products, which in India, fortunately, have eternal shelf lives. But Hero's new global product planning boss, Malo Lamasson, isn't a fan of the path of least resistance approach.
This is what we do always. We sat down with the customer, we try to understand what they like. So the product that we have behind in terms of a brand name, Splendor iSmart, has been a success story for us. We introduced the bike a bit more than 2 years ago. Was fantastic in the way that in about a bit more than 2 years, we've been able to reach more than 500,000 units in terms of sales on a fiscal year basis. So a great success. Now what we try to understand is to say, okay, what are basically the triggers for you to buy it as a consumer? There was a notion of styling, very young, innovative. There was definitively an image of technology. The i3S, our own internal idle stop system, plays a big part of it. So all the ingredients were there, in fact, for the success of the bikes. Now we also look at the usage, what they are doing. There is different way you can approach it, but imagine the target customer are the young real estate guy, okay? He is basically the agent making you visit a lot of different house when you want to change apartments. And basically what he wants to do two things. He wants to pack up as much as he can appointment within the day and be there on time, of course, and also consume as less fuel, the same thing, because time is money for him. So we took this approach to look at that, and this is why we came to say, let's do more and smarter. So do more with a single fuel of basic drop of fuel. So this is why the new engine is basically even more fuel efficient compared to the old one, and also even more, so we developed this torque on demand philosophy. So how the bike should be basically able to give you a better drivability, better capability to be on time, and at the same time improve also the ride and handling. Because it's about beating the traffic. This is what is killing us. Hero is coming from a commuter segment overall. I think we all know the brand history. Now we're in transition phase. What I used to say is we used to be commuters, which means moving people, and now we want to be moving people. So in terms of spirit, that's definitively a need, and it's in line with the market. 5 years ago, the premium was not as big as, so now we're definitely looking at it seriously. The first priority for us was to prove that we're able to come with a full new product in the core of the segment, the commuter, and try to prove that we can do everything internally, from product planning, concept, styling, design, creation of engineering, until production. So the entire value chain. This is in fact the point of today. Now we've demonstrated that. We'll be looking at, let's say, some different segment and a bit more aspirational. Usually, exactly as you mentioned, is why I started with the commuter, why not starting with a premium technology. We wanted to prove everyone that we can do a full bike change in terms of concept evolution, but then change radically all the different technology, which are now basically coming from in-house engineering, coming from in-house testing, still be able to show that we understood the consumer within a 100, 110 cc category, which is extremely price sensitive. That was a key trigger. I believe we've achieved that. When we look at the bike that you have behind us, the bike is not only more fuel efficient, but it's also more performance, more powerful, and at the same time, the styling is just better. So we're quite confident with it.
Interesting. So the motorcycle I like. I think it's well engineered. It's got all the bits and pieces in the right place. It feels like a high quality motorcycle. Now what remains to be seen is how the customer reacts to it, and that's now a challenge for Hero's marketing game to take over and play it. I know two things for sure. One is the price. It's just over 53,000 rupees ex-showroom everywhere in India. It's available now. And the other is that we can't wait to get our hands on the test bike back in our environment so that we can put this against its peers and find out how things stack up.